So I started this low back thing for you, Nicole, and it's really about balancing the musculature on the front and the back of the body. And we started out last week engaging the hamstring, because a lot of times when we're trying to engage the back body, we don't engage all the way down to the ankle, but we need to get that stability on in the back body. So that's why I started there. So I'm going to repeat that little hamstring thing, but I'm going to kind of work it in a little bit more to the whole body effort. But just like last week, we're going to actually come onto all fours and just feel out that hamstring. So come on to all fours, and you have you can take a dog cat if you want, or to just kind of limber up a little bit depending on how much you have or haven't been moving. And then come to neutral spine with your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees, and try to keep your belly button over the center line. So try not to sit into your left hip as we straighten our right leg back. Instead, we're going to try to keep that navel just over the center line of the mat, and then go ahead and slide the right foot back and just start tilting your heel from side to side. And see if you can kind of get your brain into your hamstring there. So you're feeling the back line of your right leg roll through all three hamstrings. And then just pull that in. And go ahead and take a little dog and a little cat arch. And then come back to neutral spine and keep your navel over the center. So you do not want to lean your right hip out to the right. Instead, you're just going to keep your belly button right over the midline, and you're just going to just slide your left foot back and fan your heel side to side and just roll through those hamstrings and kind of get your focus down into the back line of your left leg. And then just draw that in. Take a dog, cat, and come to neutral spine. And again, just keep your navel right over the midline and try not to sit out into your left hip as you slide your right foot back. But this time you're going to go ahead and elevate that right leg and just be feeling the back line of it as you tip your heel side to side. And then next time you're in the center, go ahead and pull that heel into the glute. So you're feeling especially the middle hamstring. And then you're just going to turn your foot to a duck foot and keep that action going. You're going to feel more in the lateral hamstring. And then you're going to turn your foot inward and pull it in and just feel that medial hamstring. And then let that go and take a dog, cat. It should be a fair amount of work if you're not leaning your hip out to the side, just to maintain your posture there. So keep your navel over the center line and just slide your left foot back and elevate that left leg and turn your heel side to side. And next time you're in the center, pull that heel into the glute and feel that middle hamstring. And you're still trying not to lean your right hip out. And then turn your left foot out to the side and pull the heel in and see if you can get in touch with your lateral hamstring. Usually a little harder on the left leg. And then turn your foot to a pigeon toe and pull it and see if you can feel your medial hamstring. And then let that go and take a little dog cat tilt. And then we're going to go ahead and sit on the block in landscape position with both sitting bones on the block and the inner edge of the foot, medial edge of the foot right alongside of the block. Walk your sitting bones back a little bit and a little wide apart. Inhale, your hands up over your head, and exhale, cat arch. And while you're here in your cat arch, don't elevate your scap tip tops, but see if you can keep your shoulder blades keeping down the back away from the ear. You can turn the backs of the hands in and just notice what's happening on that front curvature of the spine and accentuate by really tucking your chin. So pull longest colli, shut, and then take your collarbones and compress between your collarbones and your sternum, and then take your sternum and compress between your sternum and your navel. And then right above the pubic bone, just see if you can drop that deep belly right above the pubic bone toward the spine, like you're pulling on a really tight pair of pants.
And once you've got that whole front line kind of compressed, just make the action a little bit. You're not going to move very far. Probably not going to move at all, but you're just going to think about just lifting your knees up from the ground a little bit and just really in that C curve, but you're actively muscularizing it for 3, 2, and 1. And then let that go and unroll and come the other direction. So as you dog tilt, you're going to let your hands come behind you and the palms are facing out now. And when you get all the way into the depth of your back bend, drop your shoulder blades down the back towards the pelvis, toward the spine, and then toward the rib cage. And then go ahead and make the action with your heels of lifting your heels up to your glutes, squeezing your hamstrings and your calves together so you can get the back line of your leg working. And then when you've gone as far as you can, even soften your belly and let your rib cage shear forward a little bit and just feel the depth of that compression on the back line. And then just let that go by tucking your chin, rolling out of it. You're just going to roll forward. Your hands are going to rise up, and then the backs are going to come to me, and you're going to come back to that deep cat arch and take the chin, tuck it, really draw the collarbones to the sternum to the navel to the pubic bone, and then like you're putting on that tight pair of pants, like you are going to lift the knees, feel that front line working, and then unroll and come the other direction. And when you get into your dog tilt, draw the scap tips down toward the pelvis, in towards the spine, and hold up against the rib cage, and then activate the back line of the legs by squeezing the heel to the glute. So you can feel that whole back line working. Let your rib cage shear forward, let your belly poof out. And then here we go again, tuck chin, roll down, and come all the way into that compressed cat arch. Now this time as we open up, we're going to try not to let it go. We're going to just keep a percentage of this cat arch on. So here we are really compressing the chin, reaching the collarbone, reaching the sternum, dropping into the deep belly. And then we're going to come out of it without letting go very much. So we're going to come out of it. It's like 90% of it is on, 80% of on, 70%, 60%, 50%, 40%, 30%, 20%. Just notice when you're upright, how much of that front body can still be working. And then keep it on, even as you start to go into your back arch, keep it on 10%. And open up and drop your shoulder blades down the back, squeeze your glutes and your heels together, and look up, but have that awareness that there's still that 10% of the front spine on. And then when you get to the very edge, let that front spine go and shear your ribcage forward and poof your belly. And then we're just going to come slowly out by tucking the chin and rolling down, but we're going to just keep that back line on. So you notice how you've got the back line on, and keep it on 90%, 80%, 70%, 60%, 50%, 40%, 30%, 20%. And then notice how you're at the balance point, how much of the back line you could still have pulling on. And then even keep 10% of it pulling on as you really go into that front fold. Compress your chin, collarbone to sternum, sternum to navel, navel to pubic bone, and just feel that compression along the front line, but don't give up your back line yet. And then let it go and just completely relax into that front curvature, zero back line on. Now we've got the 100% front line on. And here we go, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20. Notice how much you can keep on when you're balanced on your sitting bones. And then just try to keep 10% on even as you go into that back arch.
And you start to pull the shoulder blades down the back towards the spine and in towards the rib cage. Don't let that go. Get your heels squeezing up to your glutes. Use your back line. And then when you get to the very end, okay, now let the front line go completely. Show your ribs forward, poof, your belly soft. And then just keep that back line on 90%, 80%, 70%, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20. Here you are at the balance point. Try to keep 10% of that back line still active as you really start to tuck your chin, collarbones to sternum, sternum to navel, navel to pubic bone, drop into that deep belly. And then we're going to just let that go and just take a very flowing dog, cat, and relax. And then we're going to go ahead and come up to the front of the mat. Take a forward fold and just feel how the back line of the body feels after that little balancing exercise. Again, a lot of times issues in the low back have to do with that front and back musculature not being co-activated during the movement to the front or movement to the back. There's just too much swinging going on. All right, and inhale, look halfway up, and then exhale, step your right foot back. Take an easy inhale, and as you exhale, just take a cat arch over your front leg, straighten your front leg any amount, lift and spread your left toes and fan your left foot side to side. And as you pull your left hip back, just push your left heel into the ground. So you're having a little activation on the back line of your leg while you're fanning it for 3 and 2 and 1. And then drop your right knee down and let your left knee come in front of your left ankle as much as it wants to and take a little sitting bone circle, or you can leave your right knee up. It's just up to you what you want to do there. Your right hip is going to move, but it's very passive. It's the left sitting bone that's really moving around. And then you're going to go the other direction for 3 and 2 and 1. And then take your right knee down, back up so that your right hip is over your right knee, and take your left edge of sacrum back and drop it down so that your pelvis is equilibrating. And just tune into the back line of that right leg. Even activate your glute and your hamstring more by making the action of pulling your heel up. You don't have to actually lift it, but see if you can feel that back line on. And then we're going to take right hand, left scap, left hand, right scap. Try to keep your corset on so you're not losing your rib cage. And then we're just going to take a little look up, dropping shoulder blades down the back towards the spine and in towards the rib cage for 3 and 2 and 1. And then we'll just tuck chin. We'll roll collarbones to sternum, sternum to navel, navel to pubic bone. And then we will tuck our right toes under and exhale, cat arching. But this time we're going to move the left foot out at a 45-degree angle. As you pull the left hip back, push the left heel into the floor and fan the foot side to side. And just feel the difference in that stretch. And take your left fingers between your adductors and your medial hamstring. It's just below the line of your leggings. See if you can find that divot and drop your fingers into there. Kind of loosen up the adhesions in that little owie spot there. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then go ahead and drop your right knee down. Let your left knee come in front of your left ankle as much as it wants to and go for another sitting bone circle. If you want to lift your right knee up, that's okay with me. Again, everything's initiating on the left side, like your left sitting bone is trying to pull away from the perineum, the perineal body, and then go the other way. The right hip is passive for 3 and 2 and 1. And then you're just going to drop your right knee down, back up so your right hip is right over your right knee. See if you can get your left edge of sacrum back and down a little bit, and then take your right block behind you at a 45-degree angle. It's like 180 to your front leg,
And just reach your left arm alongside your ear as you drape your right ear down towards your right shoulder and elongate left side body. Left rib cage is rainbowing up to the sky. And then we're going to just turn the heart up towards the ceiling and concentrate on that back arch line. So see if you can get your right shoulder blade tip dropping toward the pelvis, toward the spine, and in toward the rib cage. And feel your right glute and your right hamstring like you're going to pick your right heel up and kick yourself in the butt so that you got that sense of that strong archway happening on the right edge of the body. 3, 2, 1. Now come out of it by tucking your chin, rolling collarbone to sternum, sternum to navel, navel, deep belly, pubic bone towards the back body. And then go ahead and tuck your right toes under, come up into that soft cat arch, and then shimmy your left foot back onto the mat. So it's right along the edge of the mat. The outer foot is on the outside edge of the mat. And then pull your left hip back, push your left heel into the ground, and fan your foot side to side again. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then take your right knee down pretty close to the right edge of your mat. So you've got a lot of width between your right knee and your left heel. And then again, let your left knee come in front of the left ankle as much as it wants to. We're going to take a little sitting bone circle. We can have the right leg up or down. And then we're going to go the other direction. And then just drop your right knee down, back up so your right hip is over your right knee. See if you can get the left edge of sacrum back and down a little bit. And then we're going to take that right block on a 180 with that front leg. If that feels too unstable, you can still take it out to the side. That's fine. Left arm alongside ear and stretch along the left rib cage. Rainbow it up to the sky. Spread your rib tips. Let your right ear drape down a little bit. Breathe space into your left lung. 3, 2, 1. And then just turn your heart up to the sky and go after that back arch on the right side. Right scap tip is dropping to the pelvis, towards the spine and in towards the rib cage. And you're feeling that right glute and right heel lift up towards the butt to get the hamstring on for 3 and 2 and 1. Now try to keep a little bit of that back arch on as you lift your left heel, and try to feel, especially into that hamstring, as you maybe lift your knee in your hand for 3. If you want to straighten out, that's okay with me. That's not the focus today. And 2 and 1. And then as you come out, we're going to keep a little bit of that back arch on. So think about that 10% that we worked. As we drop the chin, collarbone to sternum, sternum to navel, deep belly on. And I had a feeling of that 10% the whole time. And then we're just going to tuck toes under, exhale, cat arching one more time for 3 and 2 and 1. And then we'll take the right knee down and just pick up that left heel and set it down. Arta Hanumanasana. Reach the sternum forward, reach that left big toe mound forward, fan your foot side to side. Your left hip is pulling back. Your left heel is reaching forward for 3 and 2 and 1. And then we're going to walk our blocks over towards the right. Let the left block walk a little further than the right block and cinch your fingers forward, not picking up the shoulder blade so much as reaching from the bottom tip of the scap and the lowest rib as you reach your pelvis back behind you towards the left edge of the mat. Breathe into the bottom tip of the left shoulder blade, that little area we were trying to make space in last month. 3, 2, 1. And then firm your right hand into the block, unfurl your left hand up to the sky and go as wide as you can across the collarbones. Reach into the left fingertips and then drape your right ear down to the right. And we're just going to make a little rainbow action with the left shoulder top. So it's coming forward and down, and then up and then back and down. It's like we're just doing the top half of the circle, and we're rainbowing back to front, back to front. For 3 and 2 and 1. Now we're going to add the rotation of the hand. So as we come forward, we're rotating the back of the hand down to the mat and keep going. And then as we open that shoulder back and down, we're going to take the palm up to the ceiling and then even face it behind ourselves. So it's rolling forward and then opening, and the palm is rolling back. 3, 2, and 1. And then let that hand come down on the block. Walk it underneath the right hand. Cinch it towards the back of the block. Flip your palm. Reach your hips back over to the left side of the mat as your left shoulder blade reaches to the front of the mat. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then unwind yourself. Walk all the way past your left leg. Let your right block walk farther than your left block. Same thing. Don't elevate your shoulder top, but see if you can reach from the bottom tip of the scap and the lowest right rib as you breathe into that little posterior mediastinum area we were trying to get at last month. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then come back to the center and take your leg out at a 45-degree angle again. Pull the hip back as you push the heel down a little bit and fan that foot side to side. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then go ahead and tuck your right toes under and exhale. Excuse me, cat arching. 3, 2, and 1. And then just go ahead and step that left foot back so that you're in your high plank. Let your hip crest come forward, reach your heels back and lift up between your shoulder blades as the base of the skull reaches up toward the ceiling. For 3, get your quads tight, squeeze your knees. And 2 and 1. And then just step your right foot forward. Take an easy inhale, and as you exhale, slightly straighten your front leg, cat arch your back, let your head go. Lift and spread your right toes and fan your right foot side to side. As you pull your right hip back, push your right heel down so you are engaging the back leg a little bit as you're rotating side to side. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then let your left knee come down, and your right knee is going to come in front of your right ankle as much as it wants to. And we're going to start a little sitting bone circle. If you feel like picking up your left knee, that's okay with me. Your right sitting bone's reaching really far away from the midline. Your left hip is moving, but it's very passive. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then go the other direction. 3 and 2 and 1. And then just drop your left knee down, back up so your left hip is right over your left knee, and then just take the right edge of your sacrum back and drop it down to equilibrate your pelvis a little bit. And we're going to take left hand, right scap, right hand, left scap, iron down your low ribs, and then just go ahead and find that left scap tip dropping down the back toward the spine and in towards the rib cage. And really feel your left glute, your left hammy, like you're going to pick up your left heel, kick yourself in the butt. For 3 and 2 and 1. And as we come out of that, we're just going to tuck chin, collarbone to sternum, sternum to navel, deep belly. And then we'll find our blocks. We'll curl our left toe under, exhale, cat arching. And we're just going to move that foot over so that it's at a 45-degree angle. Pull the right hip back, push the right heel down, and fan the foot. 3, 2, and 1. And then just find your fingers into the divot between your adductors and your medial hamstring. It's just right below the seam on your leggings, and you just want to drop your fingers in between there and see if you can make a little space. It's usually pretty owy in there. And then pull back the hip one more time, push into the heel, rotate, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to drop the left knee down, back the left hip up so it's right over the knee. And then we're just going to pick up this left block and put it behind yourself at a 180 to that front leg, which is, at the 45-degree angle. And then just draw your right hand alongside your right ear, stretch your right side body, reach and lift up your right rib tips so they're rainbowing up to the sky and spreading apart. Left ear drapes down for 3 and 2 and 1. And then turn your heart up to the sky and go after that left arch. The left shoulder blade tip down to the pelvis, in towards the spine, and in to the back of the rib cage. And then feel that left glute and left hamstring as you make the action of picking up that left heel toward the glute. 3, 2, and 1. And then roll out again, chin, collarbone to sternum, sternum to navel, navel to pubic bone, deep belly. And then tuck your toes under, exhale, cat arching, and shimmy your right foot back to the edge of the mat. So it's just along the edge of that mat there. And then lift and spread your toes and fan your foot side to side. Your right hip is drawing back. Your right heel is pushing forward for 3 and 2 and 1. And last time, coming down, as we drop our knee down, it's going to be way over on the left side of the mat. So there's a lot of width between the knee and the ankle. And we're going to take a little sitting bone circle. So let your right knee come as much in front of the right ankle as it wants to. It's okay to pick up your left knee. 3, 2, 1. Then we'll go the other direction. 3, 2, and 1. And then left knee back down, left hip over left knee. Just draw your right sitting bone back and down a little bit. And then we're going to take that left block behind at a 180 to the front leg. And again, if that's too much, just take it out to the side again. That's fine. Arm alongside ear, spread right rib tips, rainbow them up to the sky. Let your left ear drape down to left shoulder. 3, 2, 1. Now turn your heart up to the sky. Go after that left back arch. So left shoulder blade tip towards the spine, toward the pelvis, into the rib cage. Left glute, left hammy wants to come on as we pick that left heel up a little higher. 3, 2, 1. Now keep in mind that opening sequence, we're going to try to keep 10% of that back line on at the same time that we're tucking chin, rolling collarbone to sternum, sternum to navel, navel, and dropping deep belly into pubic bone. And then go ahead and straighten up cat arch one more time. Fan the foot side to side for 3 and 2 and 1. And then we're going to drop the left knee down. Left hip is directly over the left knee. Just pick up the right foot, lean forward, Arta Hanumanasana, and right big toe mound pushing forward as the foot fan side to side. 3, 2, and 1. Now walk your blocks over to the left. Let your right block go a little further than your left block. It's not about elevating your shoulder blade top so much as reaching from the bottom tip of the shoulder blade and the bottom right rib as the right hip reaches over to the right side of the mat. Breathing into that posterior mediastinum area. We're trying to mobilize. 3, 2, 1. Now firm your left hand into the block. Unfurl your right hand up to the sky. Let your left ear come down towards the left shoulder and go as wide as you can in that collarbone notch for 3 and 2 and 1. And then just draw a little rainbow with your right shoulder top. So it's coming up, forward and down, up, back and down, up, forward and down, and up, back and down. And then we're going to add the rolling of the hand. So as it comes forward, the hand rolls in that direction. And as it comes back, the palm opens up and then rolls back behind you. And just go
side to side like that. As the hand comes back behind you, you can pull the scap tip in towards the spine for 3 and 2 and 1. And then that right hand's going to dive down onto the block and walk underneath that left arm. Flip it and cinch the fingertips towards the back of the block as you pull the right shoulder blade towards the front of the mat, and your hips shimmy over towards the right edge of the mat. Just trying to extend along that back line of the arm for 3 and 2 and 1. And then unfurl and walk your blocks all the way beyond the right leg. Let your left arm reach a little further than your right arm. And then reach from the bottom tip of the left scap and the bottom left rib as you shimmy your fingers forward. You're breathing below the left scap. 3, 2 and 1. And then release and take that right leg out at a 45-degree angle. Just one more time. Pull the right hip back. Push the right heel into the mat as you fan the foot. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then just step that right foot back and find your danda. Lift up between your shoulder blades. Right hips come forward, right heels go back. Tight quads, squeeze knees. Lift up between shoulder blades. 3, 2 and 1. And then step your left foot forward. Block your foot this time. See if you can get the whole ball of the foot up and over the edge of the block as you reach the toes towards the face. And then as you inhale, just rise up through, rolling through the right big toe mound. And as you exhale, come down into the middle of the heel strike. And then roll through again, coming through the right big toe mound. When you get to the top, you could arch your foot. And then as you exhale, just set that down in the middle of the heel strike. And then roll up again, arch the foot, and exhale. Come down, and then stay there, or take your right foot forward a little bit or a lot, depending on the length of the back line of your leg today, and lengthen, sitting bones up towards ceiling, sternum reaching forward, and on your next exhalation, drop the outer left heel into the mat for 3 and 2 and 1, and then inhale to the center and exhale the inner left heel down into the mat. The hips will shift over towards the right a little for 3 and 2 and 1. And then just go side to side with the pelvis and get a little dynamic stretch into the back of the calf for 3 and 2 and 1. And then take all the weight into your right foot. Turn your block, get your left heel on it and your toes parallel as you walk your block, other block around to the right, and left fingers reach past right fingertips. Straighten your left leg any amount and press your left hip over to the left. Breathe into the left rib cage for 3 and 2 and 1. And then rebend your left leg and walk your block back to the center. Take your fingertips on it and step your right foot way back. Left forearms on the left thigh top, and inhale, swing the pelvis forward, dog tilt, and exhale, cat arch. Inhale, swing forward, dog tilt. Really actively take the shoulder blades down the back towards the spine, in towards the rib cage, and then make the action of pulling your heel in so you can feel your right glute and your right hammy on. We're just going to try to keep about 10% of that on as we roll the chin down, collarbone to sternum, sternum to navel, deep belly on, and try to feel that co-activation for longer than we usually do. And then we'll come all the way up to the cat arch and just let the back line go. And then inhale and swing forward into the dog tilt again. Shoulder blades come down the back towards the spine, in towards the rib cage. Turn on right glute, right hammy. Just notice that back line of the body. We're trying to educate all the way down to the heel.
And then just see if you can keep about 10% of that on as you start to tuck your chin, roll down, collarbone to sternum, sternum to navel, navel to right above the pubic bone, deepening, deepening. And then when you're all the way, go ahead and let your back line go and just poof into your cat arch. And then drop your right knee down. Walk your right brick forward a little bit, and then stick your left hand on the ground as far as you can get it. Not so that the shoulder blade rises up so much as you're reaching again, bottom tip of scap, bottom rib. And then just sink your left sitting bone down. Make a little sitting bone circle here. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then tuck left hand into left arch, right hand onto lowest setting of block, curl right toes under, lift right knee off ground, and again, sink that left sitting bone really deeply down. Reach your right hip forward, your right heel back so your right quad gets tight, and you could squeeze your right knee, and then draw your left knee up against your left shoulder, poof up between the shoulder blades, and then take the base of the skull a little higher. Soften neck. 3. Your lower body should be working pretty fiercely right now. 2. 1.5. And 1. And then step your left foot back and come downward facing dog. Your hands are on the blocks. You're reaching your pelvis at both edges back to elongate the sideways. For 3. And 2. And 1. And then just step your right foot forward and block the foot. See if you can get the whole ball of the foot up and over the edge of the block. And then just go ahead and pull the toes towards the face. Inhale up through the left ball of the foot and exhale down, drop into the center of the heel strike. Inhale, rise up and arch the foot. And exhale, drop down into the middle of the heel strike. Inhale, rise up, arch the foot at the top, and exhale, roll down into the middle of that heel strike. And then go ahead and keep your foot there, or step it forward a little bit, or step it forward a lot, your choice. Inhale, look halfway up, lifting tail, reaching sternum forward, and exhale the outer right heel into the mat a little more deeply. Your hips will shift over towards the right. For 3 and 2 and 1. Inhale, center, and exhale, drop the inner right heel a little more deeply into the mat. And your hips will shift to the left for 3 and 2 and 1. And then just go side to side with your hips. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then a little weight into your left foot. Turn the block and get your right heel on the block so your left toes are parallel with your right toes. And then walk your other block out to the left. Reach your right hand past the left fingertips as you straighten your right leg any amount and press your right hip to the right. Breathe. Right rib tips apart for 3 and 2 and 1. Rebend the knee. As you come back with the block, take your fingertips towards it, right forearm on the right thigh top, left foot steps back. Inhale, swing your hips forward, dog tilt, and exhale, cat arch. Inhale, dog tilt, and this time we're going to take time to draw the shoulder blades together down the spine and in towards the back of the rib cage. Really try to get your left glute on. Pull your left heel in, see if you can get your left hammy on. It's usually more difficult to get that left glute on in many people. 3, 2, 1. Now try to keep about 10% of that back line on as you tuck chin, collar to sternum, sternum to navel, navel to deep belly. And then when you get all the way to the end, go ahead and release that back line and really poof into your cat arch. And then inhale, swing forward again, dog tilt,
shoulder blades down the back, towards the spine, into the rib cage. Pull the left heel in. Try to get your left glute and your hammy to turn on. 3, 2, 1. And then try to keep 10% of that back arch as you tuck chin, collarbones to sternum, sternum to navel, navel to pubic bone. And then at the very end, just let that cat arch relax and drop your left knee down onto the mat. Take your left block forward just a little bit and then creep your right hand in between, cinching it forward. Don't elevate your shoulder blades so much as reach from the bottom tip of it and the bottom right rib and then sink that right sitting bone down and take a little sitting bone circle for 3, 2, 1. Go the other direction. 3, 2, 1. And then we'll take the right hand and drape it inside the right arch, left hand on left block, tuck left toes under, lift left knee, sink right sitting bone down. Pull the left hip forward, push the left heel back until the left quad gets tense, squeeze the left knee, and then draw that right knee up against the right shoulder so there's a midline squeeze happening. Cat arch, take your dolphin fin up out of the water and then press the base of the skull up towards the ceiling. For 3, soft sides of neck as much as you can, and 2, and 1. And then we'll step back, downward facing dog, long, long side bodies. For 3, and 2, and 1. And then just walk yourself all the way up to the front of the mat and turn your hands over onto your blocks. Spread your thumb and pinky apart and then take thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky, and spread. Exhale, thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky, inhale, spread. Turn your hands towards the outside. Exhale, thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky, inhale, spread. Exhale, thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky, inhale, spread. Turn your fingers towards the front. Exhale, thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky, inhale, spread. Exhale, thumb, index, middle, ring, pinky, inhale, spread. And then go ahead and take the palms down. The fingers are toward the knees. Bend the elbows a little bit as the thumbs reach out to the side. And then just go ahead and peel up your palms. Leave your hands down on the blocks for 3, 2, and 1. And then just let that go. Shake your hands as you unroll, coming all the way up to Tadasana. And then inhale your hands up over the head. Take a little look up. Exhaling, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, step your right foot back. Step your left foot back. Come down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhaling cobra or upward facing dog. Exhaling another chaturanga if you want one. Downward facing dog. For 3, and 2, and 1. Inhale, the right leg lifts up, and then you stack the hips. Pull that right heel in a little closer. Back leg is very active, and then draw the right knee a little further back. See if you can open up psoas as left hip draws towards midline. 3, 2, 1. Take an easy inhale. As you exhale, launch up on the ball of the left foot. Take the shoulders forward over the wrist. Right knee to the nose, cat arch the back. Pull that thigh in and into the belly. As you tuck chin, reach collarbone to sternum, sternum to navel. Deepen right above the pubic bone for 3, and 2, and 1. And then just step that right foot in between the hands. Drop the left knee down on the mat and stack your left hip over your left knee.
Right edge of sacrum is going to drop back and down a little bit. And then we're going to take left hand, right scap, right hand, left scap. Just iron your low ribs down and take a little look up. Activating shoulder blades down the back towards the spine, in towards the rib cage. Feel the left glute and left hammy on. And then go ahead and roll out. Chin, collarbone, sternum, navel, and hands to the floor. Step the left foot forward. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Take the weight into the heels. Come up with a flat back. Look up as the palms touch. Exhaling, we're going to come all the way back down. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, step your left foot back first this time. Then your right foot. Come down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhaling, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhaling, another chaturanga if you want it, downward facing dog. Lengthening side bodies. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then inhale, the left leg lifts, bend the knee, stack the hips, pull that glute in, heel into glute, and then draw the knee a little further back as the right hip goes towards midline instead of out to the right. 3, 2, 1. Take an easy inhale. As you exhale, launch up on the ball of the right foot. Take the shoulders forward over the wrist, then left knee to the nose, cat arch the back. Tuck chin, collarbones to sternum, sternum to navel, pull in that deep belly, pull the thigh up. 3, 2, 1. Then just step that left foot in between the hands. Right foot comes to me. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Take the weight. Oh, I forgot the undulate. I'm sorry. So sorry. Could you keep your right knee down for a moment and come up? Left edge of hip comes back and drops down. Right hand, left scap first, then left hand, right scap first. Iron down your rib cage a little bit and take a look up. Shoulder blades come down the back towards the spine into the rib cage. Turn on the right glute, right hammy this time. 3, 2, 1, and then just roll out chin, collarbone, sternum, navel, hands to the floor. Now step your right foot forward. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. For 3 and 2 and 1. Then roll up or come up, flat back, your choice. Hands come up and palms touch. Exhaling, namaste. Inhale, hands rise. Exhaling, forward fold, uttan. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, step your right foot back. Step your left foot back. Come down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhaling, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhaling, another chaturanga if you feel like it. Then downward facing dog. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, the right leg lifts, bend the knees, stack the hips, get the back line going. As the knee draws back, right knee draws back as left hip comes towards midline. 3, 2, 1. Take an easy inhale here. As you exhale, launch up on the ball of the right foot. Take the shoulders forward over the wrist. Right knee to right elbow this time. Cat arch the back. Tuck chin. Collarbones to sternum. Sternum to navel. Deep belly. 3, 2, 1. Step your right foot in between the hands. And go ahead and take your hands up onto your blocks for a moment. Pull the tail so it's going straight back towards you. You can pull in at the hip, but we were making space in the hip recently, so just want you to get your tail going straight back instead of steering off to the right. And then pull your left hip forward, reach your left heel back so your left quad is tight. You could squeeze your left knee. We're going to pull on the blocks and come up, crescent lunge. And just concentrate on that left back line. So left scap, pulling down the back toward the spine, in towards the rib cage. Left glute, left hammy on as the left heel pulls up. And then we're going to just take our hands around, interlace our fingers and drop them down behind the glutes. So really concentrating on that left back line here for 3 and 2 and 1. And just try to keep about 10% of that on as you tuck your chin, roll your collarbone to your sternum to your navel. Your navel comes down, your pubic bone, right above the pubic bone is engaged, and your right shoulder is going to land on that right thigh top. Feel free to drop the left heel down. Feel free to take the head a little closer to the floor if you feel like it. And your right hip is going to wing out to the side some. That's okay, just let it. 3, 2, Yajnavalkyasana. And 1. And then just drop your hands down on the mat and walk them around to the left and forward fold. Straighten out your feet. I'm going to turn completely around here. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, your head onto a block or onto the floor. 3, 2, and 1. And then inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, try not to let your knees draw in front of your ankles. Instead, just sit your glutes way back as you bend your knees. Take an easy inhale, and as you exhale, push your right heel away from you to straighten your right leg and reach your left knee out to the side like you're pushing into a block that I'm holding outside your knee. Next time you exhale, push your left heel away from you to straighten out your left leg. Press your right knee out to the side so you can get your right glute active. 3, 2, 1. And then we're just going to go side to side. Not a very stretchy movement, a very muscular side lunge. It's all about the sound effects, you know. 3, 2, and 1. And then go ahead and roll up 1 vertebra at a time, taking your block with you. When you get to the top, take your feet out at a 45-degree angle. Try not to let your knees come forward. As you exhale, sit your glutes back. Goddess pose. Block behind. Oh, shoot the block up to the ceiling. See if you can elevate your rib cage away from the pelvis. And then block to back of head. Take an easy inhale. As you exhale, drop your left elbow down to your thigh. Inhale your right elbow back. Breathe into your lowest right ribs. 3, 2, 1. Inhale your way up. Exhale your way down. Breathe into your lowest left rib. Spread your left rib tips. Oh, inhale your left elbow back. 3, 2, 1. Inhale center. Exhale left. Inhale your right elbow back. Breathe into your upper right ribs. 3, 2, 1. Inhale center. Exhale right. Breathe into your upper left ribs. Inhale your left elbow back. Can't remember that today. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale center. And then go ahead and windmill your hands all the way down to the front foot. Step the back foot to meet the front. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. For 3, and 2, and 1. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, step your left foot back. Step your right foot back. Come down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhaling cobra or upward facing dog. Exhaling another chaturanga if you feel like it. Downward facing dog. Elongate side bodies. 3, 2, One, and then inhale your left leg lifts, bend the knee, stack the hip. Get the back line of that leg on, pulling the glute towards the heel towards the glute. Draw the left knee back as the right hip pulls towards the midline. 3, 2, 1. Take an easy inhale. As you exhale, launch up on the ball of the right foot. Take the shoulders forward over the wrist. Left knee, left elbow, cat arch. Tuck chin. Pull collarbones to sternum, sternum to navel. Deep bellies on. 3, 2, 1. Then step your left foot in between the hands. Take the hands up to the blocks. Get your tailbone centered. Reach your right hip forward and your right heel back so your right quad is tight and you're squeezing your right knee. And then pull your blocks to the back mat. Come on up, crescent lunge. Now we're working this back line on the right side. So pull your right shoulder tip down the back towards the spine and in towards the rib cage. And then make the action of pulling your right heel towards your glute and see if you can feel right glute, right hammy on. And then we're going to interlace our fingers with the opposite index finger in front, dropping down. Feel that back line. 3, 2. Well, now try to keep 10% of that back line on as you tuck chin, collarbone to sternum, sternum to navel. Navel drops down, deep bellies on. Left shoulder's coming down onto the left thigh. You can drop your right heel down if you feel like it. Sorry, that's my bad foot. If you want to, you can take your head a little closer to your mat, and then your left hip will flare out to the side. That's okay. Yajnavalkyasana. 3, 2, and 1. And then release your hands down and just walk them over towards the right. Straighten out your feet. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, hang and breathe, head on a block or on the floor, your choice. 3, 2, and 1. And then just inhale, look halfway up. Exhale without taking your knees forward. Bend your knees, sit your glutes way back. And this time straighten out first your left foot. And let your right knee come over towards the right. 3, 2, 1. Inhale your right leg and straighten out your right leg and reach your left knee over to the left. 3, 2, 1. And then go side to side. And this time, if you'd like to take your hands up, it's okay with me. 3, 2, and 1. And then just go ahead and roll up one vertebra at a time. Take your block with you. Take your feet out at a 45-degree angle. See if you can keep your torso upright. We're going to not take our knees forward. We're going to just bend knees, glutes come way back. But we're trying not to lean the upper body forward. Shoot your block up. Get your rib cage a little bit elevated off your pelvis, and then take the block to the back of the skull. Inhale. Exhale your right elbow down. Inhale your left elbow back. Breathe lower left ribs. 3, 2, 1. Inhale center. Exhale left elbow drops. Inhale right elbow back. Breathe lower right ribs. 3, 2, 1. Inhale center. Exhale right elbow down. Inhale left elbow back. Breathe upper left ribs. 3, 2, 1. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale right elbow back. Breathe upper right ribs. 3, 2, 1. Inhale your way up. Windmill your hands around the foot. Step your back foot to meet the front. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, forward fold, Uttan. for 3 and 2 and 1. Take your weight into the heels, roll up one vertebra at a time, or come up with a flat back, your choice. Inhale, hands come up. Exhaling, forward fold. Uttan. Inhale, look halfway up. Exhale, step your right foot back. Step your left foot back. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhaling, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhaling, downward facing dog. Stay here or take a child's pose, your choice. For 3 and 2 and 1. Inhale, that right leg lifts. Exhale, bend the knees, stack the hips, pull tight on the back line. So the right heel and the right glute very close together. Draw the right knee back a little farther as the left hip comes to midline. 3, 2, and 1. Take an easy inhale here. As you exhale, launch up on the ball of the left foot. Take the shoulders forward over the wrist. Right knee to left elbow. Cat arch, tuck chin. Collarbones to sternum, sternum to navel, deep belly. 3, 2, 1. And then step that right foot in between the hand. Drop the left heel down and just windmill yourself all the way up to warrior 2. I'm going to turn around. And just cut that left thigh towards the back skin. Externally rotate right quad. Just notice how your belly might be steering off to the right. Rotate right edge of navel towards left edge of belly. You might lose your right knee inside your big toe. So as you take that belly over towards the left, rotate that right quad towards the outside. Belly's going left, quad's going right. Then when you're ready, float the hands up. Look over right fingertips. For 3 and 2 and 1. Drop left hand down, sky right hand, breathe into right rib tips. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then straighten your right leg. Now, if you have a strap and you want to grab it for Arta Hanumanasana, you can put it over your shoulder right now. And just be ready to lasso your foot with it. And then go ahead and contract your left side waist, open up your right ribs, and just tip over for Trikonasana, extending on the right side body. The hand's going to come down onto the shin or onto a block, wherever you feel comfortable. And then unfurl that left to the sky. Make a lot of space between your collarbones. And just look straight ahead. You don't even have to look up to the ceiling. 3, 2, and 1. And then we're just going to dive that, step your left shoulder blade back, dive your left hand into your right side waist or onto the front of your right hip, wherever it feels comfortable. And then look down at your right foot. Keep the weight in the middle of your right heel strike, but as you step forward, you're going to roll through your right big toe mound and just lift your left foot up. As you take your block forward, Arta Chandra. And then go ahead and bend your left knee. Pull that left heel in close to the glute. And just think about your left back line. So reach your left shoulder blade down towards the pelvis, in towards the spine, into the rib cage. At the same time, you're really trying to activate that left glute and left hammy and draw the left knee back. And then you can reach your left hand back and you might be able to hold on to your foot, or you might be able to lasso it with your strap. Ardha Chandra Chapasana. And then if you want to, you can turn your navel a little bit more towards the ceiling using that back arch, that left back side arch as stability for 3 and 2 and 1. And then extend. And you're going to go very slowly down. Like you're trying not to make any noise in a pile of leaves. And then just walk over towards the center. Inhale, look halfway up, and exhale, forward fold, head on block again. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then just go ahead and roll up and turn your left foot out, turn your right foot in. And just cut your right thigh towards the back skin. And then externally rotate your left quad. Just notice where your belly's facing. Try to turn the left edge of your navel over towards the right edge of your belly, and that might make you lose your left knee. So as you turn your belly to the right, externally rotate that quad again. So your belly's going right, your quad's going left. And then extend your arms up, look over your left, fingertips. 3, 2, and 1. Drop right hand down, flip left hand, sky the left hand, and elongate on the left side body, spread the rib tips. 3, 2, 1, and then straighten your left leg. If you want to grab your strap, you can do it now. Otherwise, contract right side waist, extend left side body, reach out, reach out, reach out. Your left hand can come to your left shin or to a block, wherever you'd like. And then just unfurl that right arm to the sky. Keep your gaze straight ahead, that's fine. Elongate between collarbones for 3 and 2 and 1. And then step your right shoulder blade back, take your right hand a little further back, dive into left side waist or left thigh top, wherever you'd like to go with that. 3, 2, 1. Now look down at your left foot, get your weight right into the middle of your left heel strike. And you're just going to roll through your left big toe mound as you take your block forward and elevate your right foot. And then just give some concentration to the back line of your right side. So pull your right shoulder blade into the spine, down to the pelvis, into the rib cage, bend the right knee, pull that heel into glute. Get your right glute and your right hammy working. Pull your right knee back. If your hand is close to it, you can hold it or you can use your strap. You're looking for that back arch on the right side. And then if you want to, you can turn your navel to the right. Arta Hanumanasana. 3, such nice postures, really nice. 2 and 1. And then just release that leg and step it back very slowly, like you're trying to make no noise in your pile of leaves. And take your hands to the ground and step your left foot back as well. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhaling cobra or upward facing dog. And exhaling downward facing dog. Long side bodies. 3, 2, and 1. And then come all the way down. And we're going to take a little inversion now. So if you want to take your legs up the wall or you'd like to take a shirsha, this is a good time for it.
for 3 and 2 and 1. And then wherever you are, just roll over onto one side and press up to seated, and we'll find our alpha ball. So starting right below the bottom tip of the right shoulder blade, we're going to go in between the ribs just very lightly. We're going to go not too long there. You can take your elbows down to the ground if you want to. Just a little side to side in case you caught that in your back arch. And then you're going to roll your ball down again. So it's between the next two ribs, and you can keep your elbows down, or you can take your hands back up. And then roll down one more time. So you're just below the bottom of the rib cage on the right side, and just go side to side there. For 3 and 2 and 1, and then roll the ball down again. So you're not touching the rib cage or the pelvis, but just across the belly of the QL. And we're trying to deepen our engagement and contraction of those back arches. So maybe you can feel that in the tonicity of that musculature for 3 and 2 and 1, and then roll down again. So you're just above the pelvic rim on like a ball on a track, going side to side for 3 and 2 and 1. And then roll that ball down into the right glute. And just find a little owie spot and pin it and lift your knee up in the air and draw a circle. Or you can add to picking up your left heel or taking your left knee to meet your right knee. For 3 and 2 and 1. And then you're just going to straighten out your right leg. Take your navel 45 degrees to the right. You can stay down there, or you can come up onto your forearm, bury the outer edge of your right foot into the mat, and bend and straighten your leg. For 3 and 2 and 1. And wherever you are, we're going to take the right hand into the floor and turn. I'm going to find your blocks and get that ball right in front of your right sitting bone, and just fan your foot side to side so you have a little bit of pressure into the top of the hamstring near the tendon. And then walk your body backwards, but keep the ball where it is so it comes to the back of the hamstring right above the knee. And then you're just going to press your hamstring up towards the sitting bone with the ball. And as you go, fan your foot. So take one stroke in the middle and then no weight on the way back. And then foot out into a duck foot and then no weight on the way back. And then foot into a pigeon toe. And just rotate your leg a little bit. So you're trying to elongate that hamstring. And again, no weight on the way back. You're just using the ball to push from the knee toward the sitting bone, not the other direction. And then just let that go and lie down on your back. And notice. See if you can perceive any change you made from that rolling on the right side body. And then take your time, but whenever you're ready, you're just going to take that ball into the left bottom tip of shoulder blade. Between two ribs, you're just making a little side to side shimmy here. When you're ready, you're going to go down an inch between the next two ribs, and you can leave your elbows down on the mat, or you can take them back behind your head. And you're going to roll it down below the bottom rib, your left bottom rib, and just go side to side. Three, two, one, and then roll down so that you're not touching the rib or the pelvis if possible, and go side to side, right through the belly of that QL. And then roll down again so you're just above the pelvic rim like a ball on a track. Three, two, one. Then roll down into left glute. See if you can find a little owie bit to pin, and then rotate your knee. And then feel free to lift your right heel. Feel free to pin your knees together. Three, two, and one. And then just straighten your left leg out. Turn your navel 45 degrees to the left. Feel free to stay down. Feel free to come up onto your left forearm. Bury the outside edge of your left foot into the mat, and then bend and straighten your leg. For three, and two, and one. And then wherever you are, just go ahead and put your hand into the mat and come to seated, and put that ball just below your left sitting bone. Take your hands on your blocks and just fan your foot side to side so you get a little bit of weight near the hamstring tendon, not too much. And then back up a little bit so the ball is right behind the top edge of your knee. And then just push, use the ball to push the muscle and fascia up towards your sitting bone, and then lift your leg slightly as you come back so there's no weight on it, and take a different angle. So you could be pigeon-toed here or duck foot, and just try to iron out your hamstrings to lengthen them so they're not bunched up behind the knee. For three, and two,
and 1. And then whenever you feel equal on both sides, you can just let that go and come down on your back and take the ball right behind your C7, this knobby little lump right at the base of the neck, and just drape your head over the ball for a moment. And then you can just turn your nose slightly to the right and squeeze the ball with the back of the neck, lifting chin up to ceiling and then letting that go. And just do that a couple of times. And then just turn your nose very slightly to the left and squeeze. So your chin rises up to the ceiling, and then let that go. And then right back to the center and squeeze the ball with the back of the neck. So the chin rises up to the ceiling, and then let that go. And when you feel like you're all done with that, just go ahead and take the ball out and lie flat on your back and find your Shava pose. Unless you need to do a little more rolling, you can feel free if you have another spot that needs some attention. Take an easy inhale through the mouth. Long, slow exhalation out the mouth. Inhaling nose. Sighing out the mouth. Inhaling nose. Let everything go. And rolling over on the right side into the fetal position. Just taking a moment of gratitude for the miracle of your body, for your strong legs and your strong arms, for the good gift of eyes that see and ears that hear. Such incredible blessings. And then grounding your left palm into the mat, coming up to seated, allowing your head to hang until the very end. And then just taking a moment to notice any changes the practice has brought to us.
and the release to the muscle body, and the depth of the breathing, or the stillness of the mind. And then inhaling the hands up over the head, let the palms touch, and then thumbs to forehead for generous thoughts, and to the lips for kind speech, and to the heart for clear intentions. Namaste. Thank you for coming. So nice to see everybody. I have a bunch of classes up on YouTube, and I just recently made them all public and free. So if you want to take any of the classes that are up there, then there's a bunch of them. So enjoy.
Awesome. Thank you, Jen.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you. Thank you, Jen. Have a great night.
Hope to
Thank
see you next week.
I've been doing these. I just have to tell you, I've been doing at least part of this every day, and it's making a huge difference in my back. So
I love it. Thanks for
Thank you.
telling me that. I
Yeah.
love to hear
yeah,
that.
it's making a difference. So thank you so much.
Yay. That is fabulous. Very encouraging.